Television news presentation has changed considerably since Dougal Stevenson was the first person to present live to the nation in November 1969. Trained in received pronunciation, his voice was the voice of the nation, inspiring broadcasters for decades.
I mean, whether you're reading off a piece of paper, which is what we used to do, and that was regarded as, if you were a newsreader, you read off a piece of paper. You didn't take it from an auto cue, which you didn't try and, you weren't reading off an auto cue, which was, and giving the impression that you'd learned it by rote, So we read the news, and there was always something to, you could look down and pick it up again. I felt secure, I guess, and as long as you read for the intelligence of it, get the emphasis right, impart the message so that people can make up their own minds about what they're hearing.
Over the years, there have been many changes, from black and white film to colour TV and then into the digital era. But the skill set remains the same. A person reads the day's events to an audience.
I guess it was so easy. I had to read off a script, so I was sure in that respect.
Yeah.
I was relatively secure in the fact that the journalists were very good practitioners of the art, and there was always this fallback position. I didn't have to resort to any of my wild imaginings, rather.
Presenter wardrobes have changed along with the fashions of the day. These days, network presenters have wardrobe stylists, but in his day, Stevenson remembers the tie he'd eventually wear for the last bulletin.
It was terribly, terribly expensive.
What did it cost you?
I think it cost me £27. Now, that's back in 1978 or 80. It was in Oxford Street. No, it was Regent Street. Better still, in London.
He's still got it now, and also dragged it out when he made a guest newsreading appearance on the nationwide broadcaster 10 years ago.
Because I'd been on I really had, I suppose you'd call it, a jaunt, talking to all the other major news organisations in America and in Britain, and how they present the news. So it was CBS, NBC and ABC in New York, and then it was ITN and BBC in London. And I thought I'd shout myself something incredibly extravagant.
During his time delivering the news, he says there were a number of stories which challenged his ability to carry on presenting. And he says today's television journalists owe a lot to the pioneers who broke through. In Dunedin, the South Today.